Tom, you mentioned the U.S. and some of its budgetary woes. We're seeing some interesting economic news out of the United States at the same time. What sorts of things are you following right now?
Well, geopolitical is the one I'm paying a little bit of attention to, but in terms of economic, governments both can. I always would think in terms of North America because that's where we do the bulk of our investing. But governments on both sides of the border are addicted to spending money. They can't get off it. And if you have unemployment in the U.S. at extremely low levels, and you're still blowing money out the door as governments running major deficits, this is not helping anything because there are going to be surprises, as I mentioned in the earlier segment. And during good times, when the economy is strong, you should be creating surpluses of some variety or trying to get the deficit in line, but they're just exploding it on pet projects. I think one commentator referred to Mr. Trudeau's budget as, or Chrysler Freeland's budget as the lollipop budget, giving everybody a little kind of prize instead of looking at big picture. The United States, it's the same thing, but they're really big lollipops. So they're spending a lot of money on pet projects. But to give Canada, for an example, clearly we've seen how Russia behaves around the world. And if you don't think they're coming for the Arctic or some kind of sovereignty in that area, you're daydreaming. And the Americans are also coming for it. Canada has to start spending serious money on looking at real defense issues. Arctic, we're going to be challenged there at some point, and we should be preparing for that. So there are always surprises. I'm just using that as a hypothetical, but there are always surprises in an economy or something else. Now, we're benefiting right now because of the tremendous demand and high price of energy. And like it or not, despite the rhetoric coming out of Ottawa, that's still a huge money generator for Canada. And we're living off that. But there will be surprises coming, and there will be surprises in the United States because we're seeing a shift in the power focus of the world from west to east. Like it or not, China is growing very fast and is going to be China-centric with Russia, Indochina, India, and the One Belt, One Road. This is a huge economic block that's coming our way, and it's getting coherent. They're young people, well-educated, very smart, and hungry. And you're going to see a shift. And also in the United States, the using of the dollar, the US dollar, as a form of political weaponry is very dangerous because sooner or later, people are going to look for something else. For example, if I made lollipops in France and you were in Iran and I sold them to you and we settled in US dollars, both of us could go to jail. And that's extraterritorial. You can't have that. And also, America has been printing money for years and years and years and years with no inflation because it's going under mattresses in Indonesia or whatever. So I think we've been living in a sort of almost a fool's paradise, but the laws of economics are immutable. Sooner or later, if you're just spending and printing money, there is a cost to be paid. And I think they're not looking at it in terms of even a tiny bit of fiscal discipline. Nobody's saying, let's go to big surpluses right now, but the economy's strong. We should be trying to, balance budgets a little bit more. And they're going the opposite way, which is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, and in fact, one of the things about this budget in Canada is that part of the reason why the deficit isn't more is for the very same reason you were mentioning. Our resource sector is booming right now. So that's kind of an awkward truth for Justin Trudeau, I suppose.
Well, it's nice to know in a changing world, people can still be bought. He's sort of putting that off to the side and calming down his climate change thing, which, by the way, he is a one-trick pony. That's the only thing he talks about. That's why nobody speaks to him at any of these conferences. He can't talk about anything else. But there are other issues at hand. Energy security at the present time trumps climate change. And we're benefiting from that. And that's a good thing. But it's not going to go on forever. And when we have a change, then when the water goes down a little bit, you're going to see the weakness in the Canadian economy, in the manufacturing and innovative base that we haven't nourished and flourished.
Yeah, I mean, do we have? Do you think there was a missed opportunity in the federal budget in terms of greater productivity?
There are always missed opportunities, and you're going to miss them. But my concern is we have a misfocus. There's not even one of the bank CEOs said we should have a commission to look at economic growth in Canada because the government is not doing it and they haven't done it for years. And you can't get away with that. The world is a tough neighborhood with tough competitors. And we've got to smarten up and toughen up. And we have to think in those terms.